Today, we're going to answer a lot of questions about the different visas here in the Philippines. We're going to talk to Heidi and get some answers about the changes to the tourist visa, answer some questions about the 13A, and also the SRRV, the expanded courtesy, the classic, and also the SRRV without pension. And we'll dive into a couple other topics. Watch the video, you'll get a lot of answers to a lot of questions.
So we do immigration services specifically for foreigners who are moving here in the Philippines and wanting to live here permanently. We also do business services to help you guys, if you want to invest here in the Philippines, that's also something that we specialize in. We are accredited with the Philippine Retirement Authority. Maybe some of you have heard of the SRRV or Special Resident Retirees Visa. So that's, something major that we also help with.
The SRRV. Now, that visa, so many people want it that are contacting me, and many are with the military. That's probably the best value, best bang for your buck. That one's how much?
Deposit is 1,500 USD. When we say deposit, that money is still yours. You can get it out of PRA if you want to cancel your SRRV. Basic filing fee is 1,400, one-time fee. And this allows you to live permanently in the Philippines. You can work, you can invest, you can do all these fun things and go in and out of the Philippines without having a return flight.
Now, if you haven't been in the military, and guys, you don't need to be retired. You just had to serve and have an honorable discharge.
Correct.
Yes. To be eligible for this. And you also, there's an age requirement.
Yes, you have to be 50 and over, and you also have to be, you need a lifetime annuity or what we call a pension of at least 1,000 USD in order to qualify. So it's not necessary that it's a pension from the military. It could either be Social Security, private pension. As long as these two are together, you're definitely qualified for the SRRV. And of course, in your police clearance, I hope you are a good guy or girl in your younger years, because they do check your police clearance and your background.
Now, what if a lot of times when you're 50, you don't have a pension yet? Can you get it without having a pension?
Yes, so not necessarily. It's called a resident retirees visa, but it's not necessary that you have retired. There are different options for SRRV. We have this thing called an SRRV Classic, where the only requirement you need is a police clearance and a deposit of 20,000 USD. So this 20,000 you can convert into either a purchase of a condominium or a long-term lease of a house and lot. If you already have this, great, but you still need to deposit the money and then withdraw it. Because you need, PRA asks you to annotate this on the title of that property.
Now, there's been some talk going around that you might be able to be younger and get the SRRV. I hadn't heard it from you. I heard it from one of your competitors. Is this something that might happen in the future?
Yes, this has been something that, and I think I mentioned this in other videos, now that I remember it, last year, I think this has been something that has been talked about, and it may happen. When it's going to happen, we don't know yet. But I think this will be good for, veterans also that are under 50, because there is actually a lot. But yeah, what we're waiting for right now is, if you follow the news in the Philippines, there's a lot of issues with immigration. Especially with, a foreign national becoming a mayor in this country. So that kind of created a couple of issues. So once hopefully that simmers down, they will rethink or move forward with the lowering the age for the SRRV to the age of 40.
Now, same thing back home, guys. There's immigration issues, there's problems with the border. They have to fix their problems here in the Philippines before they make any more radical changes, but it's something that's in the work. It used to be 35, wasn't it, at one time?
Yes, it used to be 35. It was called the SRRV Smile. What happened was, there were a lot of, and this is a fact, a lot of Chinese nationals were abusing the SRRV Smile. And so DOT, which controls the SRRV program, suspended the SRRV Smile. So guys, if you're gonna do the SRRV, please come here with the right intentions and the best intentions. And you're making it unfair to everyone else who actually wants to retire and live in the Philippines.
Guys who are here with their paperwork, the DD-214, and they don't have an apostille.
Mhm.
I've been hearing a little bit about they can go to the embassy now and get it notarized. Can you help out on what's going on there?
Yeah, so before, I think I mentioned in the other videos that it's still the apostille, but I've spoken with the RA. They don't have an official circular about this yet, but it's basically allowed by precedent, meaning the RA has done it before, and so now it is allowed to go to the US Embassy to have your documents notarized, and they will accept it. But please keep in mind to have your documents checked before you get it certified so that you're sure that you're not wasting your time.
Hey guys, I'm going to leave Heidi's contact information down below in the description. You can find it in all my videos in the description. The company is called C&G Consulting. She's going to help you with your visa or any kind of problems you might have with red tape here in the Philippines, dealing with the Philippine government. But her specialty is helping you with your visa, permanent resident visa. Now, most of us come here, we come under a tourist visa, even with the intention of doing the permanent resident visa. Has there been any changes to the tourist visa? You know, you always see people posting on YouTube, big changes to the tourist visa. Has there been any?
No, there hasn't been any. I know there was a memorandum release a few months ago, but this is basically a reminder to people that, you know, the validity or your stay here in the Philippines as tourists, you know, comes with conditions, meaning that you're actually here for leisure and not to, you know, permanently live here in the Philippines. So obviously the immigration is going to ask you, well, what are you doing here? How long are you planning to stay here? So these are very basic questions that already exist in the policies of the immigration.
Now, somebody mentioned to me in an email, they said, if you have problems with immigration, go to a different province or island because immigration doesn't talk to each other island to island. That's a false or true statement?
Honestly, yeah, a lot of these government offices do have the same rules and regulations, but it is known that they don't talk to each other. But the immigration is currently implementing they want everything to be automated. They have a centralized system that's basically happening right now. If you've noticed, their website right now already allows you to do online extensions. So that may be the case before, but it's not going to be the case for the next couple of years, maybe, because they are being extremely strict right now. And, you know, when you enter the country, your passport is there. It'll be easy to find you. So
it's easy to find you. Have you noticed a lot of overstaying lately, or is this a problem that the Philippines is solving by just doing the 60-day extension instead of the 6-month extension on the tourist visa?
So far with our clientele that we have, I have not heard of any overstays. For like maybe we had 2 or 4. Not a lot of overstayers come to us.
But if someone has that overstay problem, and you know, guys, don't run and hide from it. And if you're afraid to go to the Bureau of Immigration yourself, is using someone like you the way to go? So, you know, to calm the fear or to smooth the water so you know what's going on?
Yeah, I think a lot of the overstayers get very overwhelmed and intimidated when they go to immigration, and that kind of adds to the fear. So if you can, maybe working with an agency such as our agency will help you be less intimidated, because we handle all the paperwork for you and we give you an assessment. So mostly when overstayers come to me, wait, I'll give you a tip. So when you've overstayed in the Philippines for more than 6 months, the penalty is normally 1,830. Multiply that with how many months you've overstayed. Arrears is 15,000 and the express lane is 10,000. So add that all together and you'll know how much you'll be paying immigration approximately. The multiplier is 1,830.
So if you're lucky enough to have the money and it's just something you forgot to do and you're afraid to go down there, you can not buy your way out of it, but you can pay all your fines and everything.
Yeah.
And look for some forgiveness from the Bureau of Immigration.
Yeah, you just have to have a valid reason why you overstayed. And, you know, if it's like really valid, like health concerns or, you know, you had some financial issues, these are, you know, reasons that you can do with your motion for reconsideration. And I've had some cases where they actually lessened the penalties or they overstayed because the reason was valid. So you just have to, plead your case and why you overstayed.
Now, the 13A visa, which is something I have, and
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Heidi, and your staff. To me, it was a rough process.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
by having, a lot of guys want to say, oh, I can do that myself. I
Mm-hmm.
can go fill out the paperwork. I can go get MBI clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Where you come in is not when everything is smooth. Yeah, you make sure it's smooth, but when you have a problem,
Yeah.
there's a bump in the road. That's where the guys are going to reach out and say, help me, help.
Yeah, I mean, what we've noticed as a trend lately with, because you do an interview, right? When you apply for the spousal visa, because the petitioner is your wife and you want to make sure that it's, not a commercial wedding where you're just here, you married someone just to stay in the Philippines long. So depending on the mood of the person interviewing you, there may be hard questions. And, they can always say, you didn't pass the interview. We don't believe your relationship. So that's also a possibility, right? So, when that happens, we have staff there who will, plead your case. So that's also one of the benefits of having an agency, work through your paperwork, because we're not just here to handle the chaos, but we're also, the chaos and the tediousness, the bureaucracy, but we're also here to solve the problems that you have in terms of, the immigration or the visa that you're trying to apply for.
And all these immigration visas that you get have a ton of paperwork. It's not like you guys might be used to at the DMV or something where it's computerized. They can do it real quick. It's a lot of pen and paper.
It's a lot of manual paperwork that, you need to encode. Some of them you need to have handwritten. My staff it's also manual. I have staff just writing on forms, forms on end. It definitely helps to hire an agency, but definitely you can also do it yourself. If you have the time and the patience, you can also do it.
Time, guys. I have money but no time. I don't want to stand in line no more. I'm gonna pay someone to go stand in line for me, and I'll show up. Heidi was a great help to me. But your staff, at your fingertips here, you have an attorney, and tell us about your staff.
Yeah, we actually have a total of 3 attorneys, 1 in Cebu and 2 in Manila that we work with. And we also have a newly hired account manager. Hopefully you can meet him at one point. He is, I think one of our clients are watching, they will know Jeff. He's from Canada. So
Jeff, a Canadian, but he's a Filipino Canadian.
Filipino Canadian, yeah. So it's very nice to have someone else, with that Western perspective, being able to answer all your questions. I still handle all of the initial inquiries, but Jeff handles all of the on the ground, client questions, existing client questions. So it's been good.
It's been good. And the staff here, guys, don't worry, the English spoken here, if it is a concern, everybody speaks great English here. You listen to Heidi. I think she speaks better English than Visaya.
Visaya. I can speak Visaya and Tagalog. Yeah. Come on, kayo.
Coming up in the future, the last one I want to talk about is this digital nomad visa that been teasing the young audience with for for over a year now.
Yeah.
Is this all based on I don't want to call it cleaning house, but reorganizing the Bureau of Immigration before they release these new type of visas?
Yes. I feel like the immigration and immigration is actually under the Department of Justice. There's just so many issues right now, and their focus is mainly fixing these issues. I mean, even the Philippine Retirement Authority also has its issues, and if you've been following the news, that's also they're more focused on fixing that than having the bandwidth to actually release these visas that we're expecting. But hopefully sometime soon there's a big push for it. I've mentioned before, our immigration law is 84 years old. So I think it's definitely high time to make some changes with the immigration laws. And, we cater it to the foreigners who come here and definitely are helping our economy. The SRRV program is one testament to that. That, we like that you guys come to our country and,
they have,
in our country.
If you have an SRRV, they have a party once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw photos of you at this party. Yeah. And I think the open bar was involved with how you looked.
So the PRA, or the Philippine Retirement Authority, is such a close-knit community. They have events too, their anniversary, and I think the Christmas. So wherever you are, if there's a PRA office, there will be these events, and they encourage SRRV members to attend these events. And yes, Mike, there was an open bar.
Now, once you get your visa, aren't there some other benefits such as bank account and driver's license that they explain that to me?
Yeah, so you get to open a bank account in the Philippines without having to worry about which bank am I gonna apply for, compared to having just the ACR iCard for tourists. It makes things a lot easier. Multiple entry and exits to the Philippines. You can also get a be in our healthcare system or PhilHealth. But honestly, if you're gonna stay here, might as well get private insurance. But PhilHealth actually also helps because it gives you a discount in terms of healthcare. Part of being an SRRV member also means that you get, so what they're doing right now is PRA is partnering with a lot of private institutions to give you discounts, like bigger discounts than, like the senior citizen ID even. So if you want that list, I'm going to ask for this list, and for our leads and current clients, we're going to send that over because this is such a plus in being, an SRRV member. I can tell you that Robinson's here is part of that. If you're an SRRV holder, you can actually have a discount. Maayo Medical, there's a lot of hospitals that the SRRV members will get a discount. So it's such a good program.
When you get that list, shoot it down to me, and guys, I'll put it in my newsletter for a couple cycles so you can see what discounts and who offers these discounts. It's a great organization. Everybody who belongs to it is very happy with it. Our friend Gary, he was at that party where it had the open bar, and he was ecstatic and amazed how nice of a gathering it was.
Yeah.
And it was like they didn't hold back on the cost.
No.
Good food, good entertainment, good everything. So.
They throw really good parties, and that's the goal of the current GM. As accredited marketers and agents of PRA, we were actually tasked to keep track of our retirees because they want to know where you are. Obviously, they want you to be involved with, the activities. The parties is just one of it, but they are always trying to make, being an SRRV member a lot better for the retirees. Like, guys, you get more discounts than me as a Filipino.
Now, there is a big difference, the PRA and the Bureau of Immigration.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. With the tourist visa, they're just monitoring where you're at, who you are, how long you've been here, and you pay as you go. The permanent resident visa, the PRA, is more of a community.
Yes, it is definitely more of a community. When you apply for the SRRV, it still undergoes the Bureau of Immigration as the visa granting agency, but the PRA handles everything. You don't need to go to another agency to apply for the SRRV. It's all done there.
Hey guys, I'm going to leave Heidi's contact information down below in the description. You can find it in all my videos in the description. The company is called C&G Consulting. She's going to help you with your visa or any kind of problems you might have with red tape here in the Philippines, dealing with the Philippine government. But her specialty is helping you with your visa, permanent resident visa.
Yeah.
Heidi, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Mike, as always.
Sleeping! Wake up!